both, Shannon.
You're live.
No.
Because you're cleaner, Bob.
Must be me. It must be. It must smell good today.
Mayor, you're live.
Oh, we're live. Well, good morning, everybody. Beautiful day outside. Welcome to the Monday, August the 2nd, 2021 Board of Public Works and Safety. May we have a roll call?
Eaglin? Here. Courtney?
Here.
Carlo?
Here.
All right, Board, have you had an opportunity to look at the meeting minutes from July 19th? If so, entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that the minutes for the July 19th meeting be approved.
I'll second David's motion.
Fantastic. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you. First on the agenda, we have a couple of adjustments. So our utility superintendent, Brian Jackson, is here.
Yeah, the first one that we have is for 2227 Michigan Road, and Damon Callis is here to give you an overview of what happened and how they fixed it.
Okay. Good morning, Damon.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you. Yeah, we discovered a leak behind one of our townhouses. It probably happened for a while. Didn't notice until the puddle popped up, and then we got a hold of RJ Plumbing. They took them a couple weeks before they finally got to it, but they did fix it. And after I talked to Rob down here at the water department, we kind of feel like it went on for a few months before we actually discovered it. And then they got some numbers here, and I think it's like 2375 or something like that's what they came up with on a number on that.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming down. It's part of our process for adjustments, anything over $1,000 come before the Board of Public Works so that the board could offer or ask any questions, and you could be here to answer them.
During that time period, did you try to contact any other plumbing companies, or
Yes.
or is this a group that just does all your work?
Yes, RJ Plumbing does all my work for the
Okay.
most part. But I did call Kirby's, I called DJ Plumbing, and they're so far out, it's been like 6 months.
Okay. Everything's fixed and all
Yes.
the ground's dry now?
Yeah, so
Probably
far
need to-
anyways.
Okay.
It was just hard to discover because it was underground.
Yeah. Well, I'll make a motion, we approve the adjustment for 2227 Michigan Road.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
You're welcome. Okay.
Okay, the next one on the list is for 2617 Wilson Avenue, Fit for the King, and JD Trailers here to give you an overview of that one.
Good morning, JD.
Thank you all. Yes, sir, Mayor. Thanks for allowing me to come. And we had a situation that sounds very similar to the previous gentleman. We discovered a leak, didn't know just how long it had been going out in the front property there. We did contact actually the very same plumber that he had mentioned. And you know, there is that delay. Those folks are busy. And they sized the situation up, and you know, we had to get the 811 people to mark the lines, utility markings, and found out there's some fiber optic lines right through where that was, and an 8-inch gas main. And so it's a kind of a gigantic project, and this plumbing company said, hey, sorry, we can't do it. And so we contacted somebody else, got them out there, and they looked at it and said, hey, it's because of the intricacies involved, we're gonna have to bring in somebody else to help us with that. And they got the other person to size it up, and they stepped back and said, no, it's beyond us. And so we finally got the sedan folks to come in and rectify the problem, and it's done. But in the meantime, we paid our bills, and so we're humbly asking for that reimbursement for this.
I'm glad you were able to resolve that. And,
we were too.
Also, you know, do it carefully and safely.
Yes.
Board, any additional questions for Mr. Tripp? Okay, I'll move that we approve the adjustment for 2617 Wilson Avenue.
I'll second the mayor's motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. JD, thank you very much. Good luck with
Yes,
everything.
thank you.
You're welcome. I do not see any unfinished business from the last meeting. We'll, thank you, JD. We'll invite Nicole Shell up to discuss PACE applications. Or I should say PACE extensions.
Good morning. I have two PACE extension requests for you. The first is from Charles Requette for his PACE grant at 135 East Main Street for 2 months additional. So his new deadline would be October 31st, 2021. He was approved for a rehabilitation grant for $7,500.
We'll do these in batches, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Yep.
And the second extension request is from Derek Hughes for her PACE grant at 411 Jefferson Street for 1 month. Her new deadline would be August 12th, 2021. She also received a rehabilitation grant for $7,500. She has received part of that money, and Charles has not received any money.
Okay.
The Derek Hughes property sure is blue, but.
We don't regulate paint colors.
I thought it was blue. But there's a lot of work going on there. So.
Yes, and part of her issue is she's had to switch contractors 3 times now
Oh, really?
because of COVID issues, and so that's part of her holdup.
There's still a lot of work there. I'll make a motion,
Well, before you,
sorry.
I know that, go ahead and make the motion, we'll get it on the table.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we extend the PACE extensions on, at 135 East Main and 411 Jefferson Street.
I'll second, board member Eaglin's motion. Let's open up for discussion. I know we don't regulate paint colors, but I would like you to ask her to reconsider
Her paint
her
color.
paint color.
I can do that.
I know that we're all open and we all have different tastes. That one seems to be very much out of character for the historic district.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy to do that.
Please, thank you.
It really stands out. Nicole, I noticed on the Jefferson Street, the new deadline is August 12th. I mean, is it 2 weeks? Is that?
Yeah, so her original grant, her deadline expired on July 12th. She came in that day to ask for the extension, and you had just met, so I was just bringing it now.
Okay.
Good deal. Okay, board, any additional comments or discussion on these 2 applications for extensions? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
And I apologize, guys. Thank you, Nicole. Let's go back here. Street closing resolution for Southeastern Indiana Woodturners Art Show. Joe? And if there's a representative here for that street closure, welcome you to the podium.
This is resolution number 48-2021, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding an alley closing for the Southeastern Indiana Woodturners. Whereas there has been a request filed by Sam Sloper on behalf of the Southeastern Indiana Woodturners for an alley closing for said group in connection with the Wood Turning Art Show to be held on Saturday, September 25th, 2021, and September 26th, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that Potter's Alley, running north and south between Main Street, and the alley running east and west between Poplar Street and Broadway Street on the south side of Main Street shall be closed from Saturday, September 25th, 2021 at 8 a.m. through Sunday, September 26th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Said alley as is located between the Art on Main Gallery and Benzer Frame. This is something that's been historically done, I think, over the past several years.
Yeah, the only time it wasn't done was last year
Yeah.
during COVID.
Gotcha.
Just from a historical perspective.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Is that going on, is there another, is that Chautauqua
Chautauqua,
weekend?
that's the
Okay.
Chautauqua.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
My only question is, after hours on Saturday, would the alley be open again in case there's an emergency?
Yeah, they usually put barricades out, and then at 8 o'clock or whatever that time was, we just slide the barricades
Okay.
over, and then at 5 o'clock, we set them back
Okay.
out of the way, and the alley's open.
Good, thank you. Line Barnes still helping us out? a little
Yeah,
bit?
he's,
Good.
he's still there.
Good.
And will be there too, because I just talked to him Saturday, and
Good.
he'll be there.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, let me thank you for bringing it back. I know last year disrupted a lot of different things, and it's fantastic to see that all of our different exhibitors and art shows and so forth are coming back. And the only thing that we caution, like with all the other festivals, is whatever local health department or Indiana State Department Department guidelines are at that point in time, just be cognizant of those. Yeah. Board, any additional comments or questions? We'll entertain a motion to approve this.
I make a motion, we approve, resolution 48-2021.
Mayor, I'll second that motion.
Any additional discussion? Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. Have a good day. All right, next up, we have an access easement request from Cottage Green LLC. And good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Judy. How are you? Thank you for
I'm
being
good.
here today. And
Alright.
talk a little bit about all the great things you've been doing down on Fifth Street and Mulberry Streets, and why this particular easement's necessary.
Well, this property, which I recently restored, unfortunately was surrounded by a concrete curb when King's Daughters built the parking lot many years ago. And that curved area surrounds some city property that doesn't belong to the house. The curb does not follow the property line of the house. So I'm asking if the city would give an easement for the purpose of maintaining landscaping and just keeping the house looking nice. An easement for the city property
Right.
that's within the curb.
Yeah. Just for clarification, Judy and I have talked about this. I met with her at the property. We went over the area in which she needed access, the property owner would need access. And I know you all have some GIS information, but what I was gonna share with you is Judy actually had a survey prepared that will demonstrate the area that's going to be accessed, and that is also translated into the access, egress, ingress easement document. And it clearly is, as Judy had described, it's the area surrounding the house. It does not restrict any of the city's access or use of the parking lot, sidewalks, or where we have utilities or monuments around, immediately adjacent to the home too. This seemed to be the most, the best way anyway, in order for, to acknowledge the great work you've been doing in that area, and thank you for that, making that investment and restoring that property, but also to give that property owner, proper access to maintain the area immediately adjacent to the home. But what you see in the legal description translates to what's in this survey, and it's a very, very small amount of property that is surrounding the home itself.
I mean, common sense says this is a good thing.
Yeah, I'll show that to Carl too.
And, reading what I have in front of me, and of course, with Judy and the mayor, I make a motion, we grant the access easement to the cottage.
Yeah, just for everyone's clarification, this one's on me. We need to probably have an actual resolution, so if you guys want past this, then I can put together a resolution that reflects exactly what's gonna be done.
Okay.
So just FYI.
Okay, so I'll second Carl's motion with an amendment to put it in the form of a resolution to be executed by the Board of Public Works upon completion by City Council. City Council
City Attorney.
City Attorney. It's always confusing to say those words. Any additional, or can I have a second on maybe my amendment?
Yeah, I'll second your amendment.
Okay, perfect. Any additional discussion? Any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Judy, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work too.
Thanks, I'm working on it.
Yeah, hey, move on to other parts of town too. There's some other areas that need revitalized.
I think I'm tired. Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's all the new business. We'll move on to claims.
Mayor had an opportunity to review the claims. With that, I'll make a motion that the claims be approved as submitted.
Second David's motion.
Okay, any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. I know we still have some people in the audience, so if there's anybody here for public comment to the Board of Public Works, we'll invite you up to the podium now, and then I'll save my spot for mayor's comments before we adjourn. Might invite Mindy up here to talk a little bit, Deputy Mayor McGee, to talk about road projects and a couple other things actually.
Good morning. So just a little update on the Main Street project that's going on right now. You can see they have started as of 7 o'clock this morning. They're making very good progress, working quickly. So they are gonna work in 3 phases on this. The first phase will be Jefferson Street to the incline bridge on the north side, then they'll turn around and come back on the south side. That'll be phase 1. They hope to have that done in about 4 days. And the way they're going, that should be possible, looks like. And then the second phase will be the incline bridge to the bridge by IKE. They'll do that on a north-south pattern in order to keep traffic flowing. And then they'll do Hanover Hill. That all should be done by Riverfest, and they'll take a break, let Riverfest happen, and then they'll come back in with the Liquid Road part of the project and striping. So for today, it's a little bit difficult when you have to block parking, because we don't know how far they're gonna get done in a day, and then that product needs to sit for a while and really harden before traffic gets on it, drives on it, or parks on it. What they're most concerned about is people are parking and turning their wheels. It'll rut it and maybe crack it out of there. So they're gonna try and leave that closed maybe as long as 5 o'clock today to give it a chance to really harden before we get people back in there parking. So I know the stretch of road that they have parking restricted on is a little bit longer, but it's allowing them to get a lot more done very quickly.
But none of the Liquid Road will actually be applied today. We're talking
Yeah.
about the new asphalt that is actually
Correct.
being put down today.
They are milling
Understand.
out
Okay.
as many of those old, poorly done patches and cuts in the road that were there, milling those out and putting new asphalt in, surface in, and looks really good what they're doing so far. So then, when that's all done, they'll come back with a sealer product which will go over the entire road surface.
And the way I understand it, when you get down to the far west end of town, past the bridge there, they will be stopping traffic, right? Because you gotta have one lane closed.
I'd have to look at my notes on that one, Carl,
Yeah.
because there is parallel parking on both sides.
Mhm.
So if they restrict that parking, they may be able to keep.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm not
they
sure.
can,
Let me
yeah.
check on what their
Yeah.
plan is for that. I can't
Okay.
remember.
'Cause I think
specifically.
it's probably gonna require a stop. You know, so
It
I
may,
would
and
stop,
they
go.
provide their own flaggers.
Which area
so-
you were talking about?
West of the bridge.
Oh, west of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty narrow through
Because
there.
it's
I'll have to
just
go
two
back
lanes
and look at
there.
my notes on that.
Okay.
But Kenny Washer is out with them
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. He's walking along as they're working along, so he's monitoring anything. He can keep us informed as they move along, as things go. I'll chat with him and I'll chat with the contractors to find out what their plan is for that. I just don't, I have notes in my office, but I just don't remember.
Thank you.
This is long overdue. This part of it is, and just to keep reemphasizing this, that what we're striving to do is extend the useful life of the road, also make some very needed repairs. until we get to 2025, 2026, in which a $5 million federal highway grant that we've already been awarded becomes available to us. So we still have a lot of planning to do between now and then, but at least we can make some interim repairs on the road to get us another 3 years of useful life.
I would just ask for everybody's patience. I know it's an inconvenience to store owners and people that live downtown, but there's kind of only one way to do it. They gotta get in there and work.
Right. True. Very true. Any questions from Mindy? No. Mindy, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay. Anybody else here want to address the Board of Public Works? Yes, sir. Hi.
Morning. My name's Paul Lee. I've recently moved down to 1033 West Main Street to some new homes that were put in down there. And really love it downtown. Lived all my life here in Madison. Used to
What's
live
your
up
last
on the
name,
hill.
sir?
Lee.
Lee.
L-E-E.
Okay. L-E-E. Okay.
And I wanted to live downtown for many years, but I didn't want a project. So they built 3 new homes. I bought one of them before they were done. Anyways, love it downtown. We actually moved down to the west end of town because of all the construction and improvements, everything's going on down there. It's really great. But one of the things I want to address, and I'm hoping I'm doing this the correct way, is there is an address down there. It's at 1037 West Main Street that I know has caused a lot of damage to surrounding homes. I know that there's a bed and breakfast just west of it at 1041 West Main Street. While he was doing construction at 1037, he damaged their foundation. The owner of that home did not ask for repairs. They're repairing it themselves. It turned into a lawsuit because he wouldn't allow any repairs to be done. You know, every time construction workers showed up, he would run them off. The house just west, which is 1035, he was in there doing some digging on that side of his house with the backhoe and put a hole through their foundation that you could literally walk through. Busted out their rear concrete. I know that that particular house, it was over $17,000 damage that is getting finished up tomorrow. None of these repairs have been done with building permits. There's been 3 stop orders on this property, and he's out there every day working, day and night. He sleeps most of the day and works all night on the house. So it's very noisy. He's changed the roof line, added another floor. There's a lot of history there on that property and that particular person. And it needs to stop. The repairs on it, nothing's to building code, there's no engineering drawings. I have a neighbor that lives 1 block west that called me last week. This particular house gets the water and electric shut off quite a bit because the bills aren't paid. He runs a big extension cord and plugs it in my front porch after I leave to go to work. The house at 1035, he actually, part of the reason he busted that wall out through the foundation was to tap into the water line to get water there.
This is the property owner of 1037 doing this?
Yes.
Okay.
I know the name. I didn't want
Okay.
to say the name,
Yeah.
but
If I'm familiar with this property, we'll check with our building and planning department where a building inspector is. And I think there probably has been a stop work order.
there
issued
has
on
been
that.
3 stop orders. I've talked to Scott Gross
Okay.
about it already.
Yeah.
I've talked to the previous person before him about it. It just needs to be addressed. Something needs to be done.
Okay. We will take the matter up with them and our city attorney.
Yes, that's what I was told.
Okay.
And I'll also address it tomorrow at the city council meeting,
Okay.
just so everybody.
Have you talked to your city council person, Lucy
Yes,
Patillo?
I have talked to Lucy a few times. I believe she's on vacation. I
Okay.
don't think she's gonna be here tomorrow, but, I have talked to her about it,
Okay.
yes.
Well, I appreciate
She's
you.
been very helpful.
Well, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention too and being so concerned about the neighborhood as well.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, I
We
mean-
do need to follow up. It is a legal matter.
Right, it is a legal matter, and the house just east of me at 1035, they have to jump through all kinds of hoops to get to do construction on it. They bought that house and are refurbishing it, to live in. I mean, the Hammocks have bought a lot of property. They've got to
Right.
jump through hoops. My neighbor wanted to put a shed up, and it took him months to get everybody's doing everything the legal way,
Right.
properly, to protect the neighborhood, the property taxes, property value. I mean, that house has never been assessed for, the new additions. It's just costing the company money. It's costing not the company, the city money. It's costing the surrounding neighbors several tens of thousands of dollars for damage he's doing that can't get done. And there's a lot of neighbors. I have a list of all the neighbors around that I've talked to that have damage done. Some of them didn't want to come here. That's why I didn't want to mention their name. They wanted me to be a spokesperson because he's very intimidating and threatening. I mean, the laws down there, a lot. A lot. I'm sure you're aware of who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
And it's something that needs addressed. I can't put it any clearer.
I appreciate that. We'll discuss it with our city attorney.
Okay.
On further action.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate you being
All right.
here today.
Thank you.
Take care. Welcome downtown.
Yes, I love it.
Yes. Anybody else here have anything to address before the board?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a couple comments.
Okay.
I know,
Man,
I know,
that's right.
I know.
Oh, we got it.
I know, you almost got there. This is just, again, a lot of things we talk in different public forums, but I just want to mention to people that we continue to work on several different initiatives, one being our clean drinking water infrastructure planning. The board here at the last meeting did give us approval to start the design process once we hear from the State Water Infrastructure Fund grant. We did learn that they've pushed back the announcement of the grants until the end of the month. So I believe August 27th is the approximate date where we will learn about that grant application. We had also asked at the last Jefferson County Commissioners meeting for them to participate in this project with us financially because it is a county-wide clean drinking water improvement project. So we're waiting to hear on what level of commitment the commissioners will support, and they're able to use the recently received American Rescue Plan Act funds to help finance this project. Every dollar we get in grants or other financial support has a direct correlation to the water rates. If we have to borrow 100% of the cost, then the water rates will have to go up by statute. They have to go up to be able to support that debt. If we drive that debt down through other combinations of sources, there's a direct correlation in reducing water rates. And that's why it's important to everybody that lives in Jefferson County that we receive additional support beyond just water rates. The other thing is involving flood risk management. I mentioned at the last council meeting that we did enter into a letter of intent with the Army Corps of Engineers to request planning assistance from them for future flood risk mitigation. They have been engaged with us. They've assigned a project manager. The cost of that is going to be approximately $450,000, but we think it's very important to do so that we can identify what mitigation we can invest in the future from an infrastructure perspective that would minimize the damage from a future flash flood event like we had on June 18th, June 19th. More to come on that, but we are working on that, as well as still working on cleanup with the tributaries. We did reopen the bridge on Milton Street, but the paving of the deck there still needs to be completed. We have continued to remove trash from the affected area. So far, we've removed 150 tons of trash and construction debris from the properties that have been damaged. The SBA and the Indiana Department of Homeland Security was on site for a little over a week processing applications for financial relief, either in the form of a low interest rate SBA loan or a grant from the Indiana State Disaster Relief Fund. Those efforts continue and will continue until people are able to get back into their homes. We're about finished with our hopefully final damage assessments. I think there have been at least 4 separate property damage assessments that were conducted by the city of Madison as well as different government agencies. All of that is still ongoing. Mindy had given you an update on the roads. Again, that is to bridge us to 2025, 2026. But we have a lot of infrastructure activity going on all across the city, and we just ask for everyone's patience as we deploy our contractors. We did close Crystal Beach. Yesterday was the last day of Crystal Beach's summer season. It closed 2 weeks early so that we could start the process of draining the pool and emptying out various different contents on the premises in preparation for the contractor to deploy and mobilize to the site to start the multi-million-dollar restoration of Crystal Beach in an effort to be ready for the 2022 pool season. So lots going on across the community. We appreciate everybody's patience. We also appreciate everybody's investment. There's dumpsters everywhere across town where individual property owners are also investing in the restoration of and preservation of historic properties downtown and on the hilltop. But a lot of great things are happening. Momentum is fantastic. We just celebrated the ribbon cutting for the Cotton Mill Hotel. We also had a dedication for the new Emergency Management Agency's response center on Saturday. Habitat for Humanity did a dedication on Saturday morning as well for new affordable home construction off of Green Road. So fantastic things going on across, and I'm very pleased with the direction we're heading, and grateful for all the planning that goes into this and all of the hard work and from our staff as well as everybody who partners with the city. Those will be the mayor's comments. And
I have one question.
Yeah.
Several people asked, are you going to have a follow-up meeting in the neighborhood for the flood victims?
We can, it just depends on timing. Right now, the mode that we are in is future flood risk mitigation while the other agencies are working on the immediate recovery efforts. So from the city's perspective, we're focused on the future. Okay. And that is going to be, there's long lead times with regards to working with DNR and the Army Corps of Engineers in order to do an assessment, do the modeling that's required, and then come up with a plan. I mean, that is honestly months and months away. So I don't really anticipate there'll be, other than what I've said here and at other meetings, there really isn't anything that is going to happen in the short term from a risk mitigation perspective, because that's about trying to identify what can we do in the future to minimize the damage from another flash flood, and that's going to be about infrastructure. So it's going to take several months before we get some meaningful feedback from the Army Corps of Engineers, but we'll be happy to share it when it's available.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. But in the meantime, we have the volunteer organizations active in disasters, working there to help with the recovery efforts. We also have the SBA, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. We have property owners down there doing their own recovery efforts. We have our building and planning department working with property owners. City Council approved a resolution for flood relief efforts at the last council meeting, so we've already deployed those. So there's a lot going on all simultaneously, but there really isn't anything new to share other than what we've been really actively doing since the flash flood occurred on June the 19th. But if anybody has any questions about their own property or about our efforts, they can always call City Hall, speak to the mayor's office, talk to the building and planning office, and they can also share with you all of the active efforts that are going on for recovery and future risk mitigation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you for the question. Good question. Any additional questions, comments? What are you anxious to do there, Carl?
David's gonna make a motion and we adjourn. I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, everyone. Nice meeting you too.
Jim Lee's is,
Hmm?
is you want Jim Lee's kids?
I don't know.
They did, did you know him?
Was that
Is
one
that
of
Jim Lee's kids?
I,
He kinda looked like him.
kind of looks like,
Huh.
I'm not sure.
He didn't grow up in Madison.